Now, of course, the sequel to The Hunger Games Catching Fire, opens in AMC Theatres everywhere on November 22nd. I know a lot of people are really looking forward to it. And now, the very first trailer, of course, for Catching Fire has been released online. Now, you've probably had a chance to see it. If you haven't, there's going to be a link to the trailer in the description below. And I want to give you my thoughts on it. Now, first of all, the big change, of course, between the first Hunger Games film and Catching Fire is that director Gary Ross, who directed the first film, and I think did a pretty darn good job with the first film, did not return to shoot the second film. And instead, the director, of course, for this new film is going to be Francis Lawrence, who directed such films as Constantine, Water for Elephants, and I Am Legend. Now, I really did like the job Gary Ross did in the first one. My one main problem with the job Gary Ross did was the way the action was shot. I mean, the action was so incomprehensible and I hate shaky cam in movies. To me, it's a lazy man's way of directing action because it means we don't actually have to choreograph good action. Just shake the camera around and it'll give the feeling of good action. And I think it's pathetic. I hate that. And Gary Ross, unfortunately, despite all the good things he did with that movie, he used a lot of that shaky cam and quick, fast editing. So you really, it gave the feel of action without actually showing you action. And I detest that. I hate that. Now, some people will make the argument, well, you know, it's very, very difficult to do a PG version of Hunger Games because it's so ultra gory and ultra violent in the books and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I do get that. But you got to find a way. And the way is not kind of camera editing. That's not the way. That's a terrible way to do it. So I didn't like that. But anyway, let's move beyond that and let's actually talk about the trailer for Hunger Games Catching Fire. I have to admit that I did not read the first Hunger Games book. I just watched the movie and I thought the movie was pretty darn good. But I did read the second two books, and I have to admit, this is going to be very unpopular. I was not a big fan of the second two books. I read them, and to me, it just didn't do it for me. So I've been skeptical about Catching Fire. However, I sat down and I watched the trailer this morning, and I got to say, I love the feel of the trailer. I really do. I think this trailer feels great. And what a lot of movies kind of make a mistake in is that they talk about these global problems, or this is this worldwide epidemic, or this is a tyrant ruling the whole world. But the movies sometimes feel small. And I'm not just talking about Hunger Games. There's a lot of movies that do this. The world in which these movies inhabit often feels small, despite the fact that they're talking about big global problems or global issues going on. And from just briefly watching the Hunger Games Catching Fire trailer, I really got a sense of a worldwide issue, that this is an issue of nations. This is about the entire population. This is about, and that's something that the first film didn't really do for me. It still felt very small in the first film. But in this one, it felt large. At least in the trailers, it really feels large. And I've got to tip my hat to them for that. Jennifer Lawrence looks great. Josh Hutcherson looks great. What really stood out to me, though, in the trailer was the dynamic between Philip Seymour Hoffman, who's, I never have known if I'm pronouncing the character's name right, Plutarch Heavensby? Is that how you say the name of the character? I've just only read the name. I've never heard it said. But the relationship between Philip Seymour Hoffman's Plutarch and Donald Sutherland's President Snow, the whole context of the trailer happens in that dining room, if you will, where Hoffman and Donald Sutherland are sitting. And the dynamic and the conversation between them feels really great. I enjoyed that a lot. So how do you do this film without being rated R? The answer is not shaky camera. I'm not a big fan of the Hunger Games Catching Fire, the book, the second book, but I got to say this trailer has really whet my appetite. I am now very excited for this film, and I'm looking forward to it being in an AMC theater near you on November 22nd.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.